Hello and Happy New Year! It's me, Christy from Flip City Magazine, on our 53rd edition of Creative Chaos. For anybody that does not know what Creative Chaos is, it is a show dedicated to shining a spotlight on fascinating people creating fantastic things outside of the mainstream. So if you are looking for cool new stuff that is happening in culture, this is the place to find it. And I've got a really great guest for you tonight. It's somebody that I've kind of known for a little while, but I'm super excited to get to know him a little bit better tonight. And that opening band, for anybody that was there watching the opening music, that was Everly Music. So thank you very much to Everly for providing your music for us for absolutely no charge. So go check out Everly Music. I think if you put that into YouTube, you can probably find what he is up to. Sorry, I don't have my notes up right in front of me, so I don't have that link. Christy. Anyway, so as always, I have a sidekick, the coolest sidekick around. Who has a better sidekick than the Batman? Let's bring him in.
Hey.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, my dear. How are you?
I am fantastic. I really am looking forward to 2025 because I don't know about you, but 2024 for me was sucky. It was
a rough year for me. I had to have neck surgery. Still dragging this divorce through the mud. I just getting out of hand. But yeah, 2025 looks to be a brighter, sharper new year. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Okay, good. Me too. Now, I don't know if you. Oh, go ahead.
How am I sounding tonight?
Crackly.
Still?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
You know what? I think that I'm going to introduce you next week as the Crackly Batman.
The crackling Batman. Okay. I've got new earbuds in. I've got a new stand. I'm like trying to get all this shit together, and it's like crazy shit. I'm just frustrated as hell with this. And of course, the day I need my laptop, I left it back at home again. So it's frustrating for me.
Bummer. You know what? I felt bad because I gave you, like, I think too much shit last week for your crackliness. I'm just going to accept it. And the chat needs to accept it too. Great hater. It is so fantastic to see you, by the way. So she suggests Static Batman.
Static Batman. There we go.
And
that works too.
Until it gets fixed. And hey, by the way, I am drinking a stout tonight. I thought you might be proud. Look at that cool label.
Dark Star. Ooh, Fremont. Sounds delicious. Tonight I'm drinking mushroom coffee. I need my vitamin supplements. I've unfortunately the end of 2024 went out with a real nasty bang on me. I wound up going out to eat with my brother and got food poisoning just before New Year's Eve, and then I wound up with a case of vertigo. So I've been home in bed for the last 5 nights.
Oh my gosh, that really does suck. But I had a question for you because you are also the resident Jewish person on the show. And that's the thing. Hanukkah started on Christmas. I have no idea how the dates are chosen or anything. I don't really want to go into the history of that. But something I found very interesting were Chinese restaurants apparently were very afraid of what was going to happen because Hanukkah started, because that's a tradition, right? Jewish people on Christmas go out. Chinese.
You go for Chinese food for dinner and you go out to the movies for Christmas Day. So it's kind of like a whole wrapped up in one kind of package. Because, so the Chinese places were worried because it was Christmas Day?
Because Hanukkah started on Christmas Day, so they were worried of the loss of revenue across the spectrum. I thought that was it was a funny little article I read, and I was like,
that's interesting. I hadn't contemplated that as a possibility, but I see how that could be an issue. But honestly, Jewish families may celebrate Hanukkah, but they have 8 days to celebrate Hanukkah. And sometimes the Hanukkah parties don't always fall on the first of the Hanukkah start. The whole thing with the presents, that was kind of an Americanized gimmick because Christmas and Hanukkah kind of landed close to each other. They just happen to land on the same day this year, which happens usually once every 20 years or something. It lands on Christmas Day. So just real quick, the Jewish calendar is based on the lunar cycle, whereas the Christian calendar is based on the solar cycle. So that's the difference. And in the Jewish, there you go. So in the Jewish calendar, it's 13 months every 5 years, not 11 months, or 12 and a half months. I forget what it is, but every 5 years the calendar cycles. So because the Jewish calendar is lunar and it takes time for it to catch up, that's why sometimes Hanukkah is really close to Christmas, or this year on Christmas, and other years it's like way early in December. It's like the 1st through the 5th of December. But that's because of the cycle of the lunar calendar, and that they add 1 extra month every 5 years, so to reset the calendar. So
okay, fascinating. I literally said I don't want to go into the history, but you did, and I thank you for it, actually. And I hope
I know I didn't want to get into it. I mean, that's the quick abridged version. That's the what was it? What were those books called when you could read the book that gave a quick synopsis of the stories of the plays?
They were yellow.
Yes, yellow with black trim on top and bottom.
What were they called?
What were they called? Cosmic Grandpa, I'm shouting out to you.
No, okay, well, maybe he'll get it before everybody else because he's not on the delay. Cliff Notes. Thank you, Nat Rain. All right. And
that was the Cliff Notes version of the Hanukkah calendar, of the Hebrew calendar.
No, I love this because Nat Rain just narrowly beat out our guest tonight, okay, with the whole Cliff Notes thing. Don't ask me to recall quickly.
I used to be so much better at it.
Yeah, we're not on too much of a delay. Anyway, on that note, I do want to say what is up to our guests tonight. Our chat tonight, with the first person checking in being the great Ben Sullivan, who is my friend. So I'm super excited to do this when we don't have the guests live. Okay, Ben?
Hey, Ben, you're my friend. Ben, you're my friend. You're the best old Ben there's ever been. Never been a Ben like Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Hello and happy new year to you. So great hater, by the way, okay, the one that said Static Batman, great hater. I met through Woo's News, and we both love him dearly and wish him the best. I know he has been struggling being able to survive while making the most badass documentaries about January 6th and all kinds of truth stuff. So great hater. If you're still hanging out with the Woos, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I owe him a text to at least say Happy New Year. And then Cliff Notes is what Nat Rain said. And then, of course, our wonderful guest tonight checking in on chat, Dark Gift Comics Presents, because that's his YouTube handle. All right. Well,
all right.
Hey,
so,
Batman.
Real quick, how's my static now? Static hater. I mean, great hater. How's my static now?
Well, I'll tell you.
Test 2, 3, 4. Test 2, 3, 4. Do you hear me?
There is still static, but we're not going to focus too much on it. But it 2 minutes ago, it was way worse. So you did something.
I took out the headsets and I'm going straight through the phone speaker. So again, I'm not going to be hearing you as loudly as I should, but you can hear me clearly. So we'll keep it that way.
All right. Well, we'll do that for the moment. Anyway, Batman, should I speak super loud? I'm loud anyway. Batman, what should people be doing with all the like social media
They
stuff?
should be liking, subscribing, clicking that bell, ringing that bell, clicking that thumbs up, any way they can to subscribe so they get notifications for Flip City Magazine's Creative Chaos Show anytime it's on. So hit that thumbs up, click that red pill, subscribe, like, and enjoy.
All right. Awesome.
And don't forget to subscribe to the actual physical printed magazine, Flip City Mag.
That's fantastic. And thank you for that intro to the pitch tonight, because I'm getting real tonight. I'm getting real. And before we do this pitch, and it's not really a pitch, and it's not really, it may feel like a oh pity me type of thing, but that's not what it's meant as. So last week at the end of the show, which by the way, thank you and Cosmic Grandpa so much for doing a show like right after Christmas and then also right after New Year's. Like, this is fantastic that we just keep rolling forward. I appreciate both of you guys so much. But I have a thing. So at the end of last week, we spoke very briefly about how I send you a subscription for free. And then you did kind of complain that you haven't received a magazine in a while. And that to me, okay, so I self-reflect after these shows, right? And I go like this. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. It's a thing, right? And it's a thing that like kind of like is like a huge pit in my stomach, because we're independently publishing and we're doing it on a quarterly schedule, which is insanity, right? It's actually insanity because we're not in the crowdfunding scene. I mean, we kind of are, but we didn't start that way, and we're just dipping our toe in. Anyway, so we have literally been behind in publishing. But good news. I'm just going to show you this, because this is how Flip City magazines come with our regular subscriptions. I love it because it kind of lends itself to like porn magazine, but it's totally not. And then you open up the envelope and you get a fresh new Flip City magazine. These damn green, these come quarterly in the best of circumstances, right? But we're so fucking far behind. Like when you brought it up last week, I'm like, Bidenomics, oh, please don't make me feel pain, right? Because
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no.
to give you the jab in the stomach.
No. That's not even the purpose of this. I really just want to be real with people, because it's been a thing with me. I'm like, oh, how do I, like, a good number of our subscribers love us no matter what, right? And they're going to forgive us for everything because they're like, fucking Flip City, you fighting the good fight. You're mocking the commies. I'm going to support. Take my money. But then I also have another subset of people who are new subscribers. They found us through Joey B. Tunes or things like that. And so I have to manage them as customer service manager as well. And, but it's painful. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I love you so much. You're like my favorite people in the whole world. Right. But I don't really tell them we're like chronically behind since 2023. We have been. And this is me just being real to everybody out there. We are fucking chronically behind because of, and I do blame Bidenomics. Like 2020, 2021, and 2022, like fantastic. We were like, shh, like that. And then the country became demoralized, or the people that would love Flip City became demoralized. And also we're like, I only have $50,000 in the bank. You want me to spend $50 on your thing? Fuck you. You know? So anyway, we're fucking chronically behind. This just came to us. They are shipping on Monday. And I'm going to show you this. And it is painful to show you this. Okay. Anybody that can see the corner, that fucking says summer 2024. This is what we're shipping out now. I guarantee you it is still going to be fucking funny, but that is how far behind we are. But on the up and up, and good news is volume 23 is complete and going to the printer. So basically, any of our new subscribers, you're going to expect volume 22 right around the corner, volume 23 in about a month and a half, and then hopefully volume 24 in a month and a half after that. Oh my God, I'm totally red. This sucks. But anybody that wants to help us get back on schedule, just go and buy it. It really is all revenue related. That's all. Okay. Mwah, love you. FlipCityMag.com.
There you
Yes.
go.
It was
FlipCityMag.com. Subscribe to the printed magazine now.
Buy back issues. That's what's going to help us the very, very, very most. We have a ton of back issues, and I will love you secondary to subscribers. So subscribe and buy back issues, and I'm going to love you the most. Thank you, Mr. Self-Destruct, for the Flip City Mag and the lightning bolt, even though, like, I literally had to admit how fucking embarrassing it is to be this far behind. It is not lack of ideas. It's not lack of talent. It is literally us scrambling to gather revenue to pay all the bills. That's all.
It's lack of funds, thanks to Joe Biden.
Thanks to Joe Biden. And, you know, I also kind of blame influencers too a little bit. You know, the people are like, I'm fighting commies. Oh, let me look at this magazine. Okay, I'll tell you privately that I really love this, but I won't tell my audience. That actually really, that's the problem. That's the main problem.
That's crazy.
Anyway. Okay, I'm super excited for our guest tonight. And I think that was probably the weirdest pitch in history.
Why don't you bring them in and introduce them to our guests?
I'm
to
going
our
to,
crew.
and tonight I do not have an actual video or anything like that to show, so I'm just going to read them in. So our guest tonight is Anthony Romano, and he is a musician, artist, bartender, lover, collector, and publisher of comics. Besides working on and publishing his own titles, including Hunting Atlas and Dark of Midnight, he also publishes work by fellow independent creators, which means I have to immediately love him for doing that. When he's not busy promoting and fulfilling for others, Anthony hosts a weekly YouTube show formerly named The Comics Gate Slums, recently renamed to The Madhouse. And I'm a new panelist on that show, and I feel very proud of that. So let's bring in Anthony.
Hello.
Anthony!
Hey, what's going on?
Dude, are you seriously not coming on camera tonight?
Oh, well, I plan on it. You said I had some time, so I was just, my camera right now is not showing me.
He's smoking weed.
Well, I was doing that, but I was working on some inks. So, like, right now my camera's showing that, but let me switch it.
Were you planning on live drawing tonight? Because we've never done that during a Creative Chaos.
I wasn't planning on it, no. But I'm on the last 2 pages of Lightbringer 2, and once I finish those and do the lettering, and Mr. John Dillard, who I think is in the chat, gets me the cover, I'm going to print on that. So yeah, that's going to be nice.
Okay, do you think Mr. Dillard that is in the chat is probably the guy within the indie comic space that gets the most freaking work? It kind of seems that way to me.
I don't know if he gets the most, but he is probably the hardest working. What happened to the chat? I feel like half the chat just disappeared on me.
Well, what I got to tell you is we have 55 live viewers right now, and I think that is a record.
Yeah, but like I saw good stuff. I saw all the old chats seem to be gone for me. I don't know why. Something weird just happened when I turned my camera on, but whatever. He is definitely the hardest working, and he does a lot of work, whether it be commissions, his own projects, work for hire. Dude is a solid guy.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels, because I heard a short, kind of a short story about him stopping trucking and going to his wife saying, "Hey, I actually might be able to make this illustrating thing happen." So I can imagine he's still proving himself to the wife.
Yes, probably, because we all know she wears the pants in the family anyway. So
Anytime I've seen her in the chat, she's lovely.
yeah, she's awesome.
All right,
will have you believe he's Mr. Manly Man, but I believe that she wears the pants. So.
Anyway, Anthony, I'm super excited to have you on because we've been intertwining in different ways, but I've never actually got to know you ever, even though I come on your own show. I don't know you very well.
It's like a Venn diagram of like mutual creators that we know, and we always wind up on a stream. And I was like, just come on. So
and you allowed me.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm expecting we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight. I don't know if you're drinking, but I am for sure.
Oh, are we drinking? I can go get ice.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we are.
Let me go get some ice, as Dillard calls me rude. I'll be right back. Hold on. I didn't realize we were drinking tonight. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's the New Year's, baby, and I'm off.
This is what happens when my guests leave. I get super scared. So make it quick, and I'll talk to Batman.
All right, sounds good.
This is why, which, by the way, I have brought this up multiple times. This is why I do Creative Chaos this way, because I cannot imagine being one of those talking heads. Like, hey, I have to entertain everybody.
Oh, come on. You do a good job of that.
I don't. I like to talk to people. That is the thing. And, oh, by the way, Batman, I had to tell you, I was on a stream recently, last week's guest, Patrick, right? In the comments on our video, one of his co-hosts on Comicsgate Commandos is like, can't wait to have you back, because I went on their show. And please bring Batman. His mustache is fantastic.
That's great. All right. Well, you got to let me know when. I got to see if I can work that in. I would come on a show. I don't, you see, when Cosmic and I were originally doing Three Beermen with the other guys, we were 2 days a week, and it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of work that I didn't have time for. So we couldn't maintain 2 day week shows. This is easy for me because I don't have to prep anything. It's just, I just have to be here and represent and bounce off of the artists that you bring in, the guests that we come on. I don't have to prep a lot because I have such a wealth of knowledge about the industry in general that it just comes naturally for me to throw questions at the guests. Whereas with, Three Beermen, we have to prep the show every time. We have, the beginning and end. And Cosmic's been doing a lot of the weight carrying for a very long time. So now that he's involved in this, and he's also retired now too, which helps. The fact that he retired from the brewery makes it a lot easier for him to be able to do things that I still cannot, because I'm still running a business, 7 days a week. So that being said, I see our guest has returned, and I would love to get into Fanboy for us, if we can jump into that right away.
Yes, let's do that, because I have no clue what his answers are going to be. So, Anthony, our very first segment is done by the Batman himself. It's called Fanboy. Yeah.
So first I have to ask, what are you drinking that's not part of Fanboy for us? Just curious.
Johnny Walker Black.
Ah, very nice. A Scotch guy.
Man. Yeah.
I'm a bourbon guy, and I actually have.
I have that here. Not black.
Pre-mixed myself a little bit of my bourbon.
I love that. I love that bourbon.
Nice.
That's my favorite bourbon.
So, but what you're not seeing in it, because it's all the way at the bottom, is there's already cherries, there's cherry juice and bitters in here, because the last time I had this bottle, we were at a men's club, and we were BYO, so we brought our own cigars, we brought our own liquor, and a buddy of mine had a bunch of the mixes for the old fashions, so I threw a bunch of it in here. I can't drink tonight because I'm still recovering from vertigo, and alcohol will throw me back into a spin. So I have to wait till I'm 100%. So right now I'm drinking mushroom coffee and lots of water. But good to see that you're able to throw back some scotch. Always good to know. And I know that Christy likes her scotch as well. But let's jump into Fanboy for us. So we're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. These questions are, don't let it stew. Kind of like come out with the first thing that hits your brain. We want to know what your favorite movie is.
Favorite movie? Ooh, Eddie and the Cruisers.
Ooh, interesting. I like that. That's a new one. Eddie and the Cruisers is a new one on me. I love Eddie and the Cruisers. I remember the movie. Not something I'd watch many times over, but a good movie nonetheless. So that's cool.
Well, as a Jersey boy musician that lives on the Jersey Shore, it's basically my life story. So,
is that where you hail from, or that's where you live now?
That's where I live now. Yeah.
Very good.
And Michael Paré with a mustache looks like my father. So.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you. So you're not from Jersey?
Well, no, I technically you would say I'm from Jersey because I only lived in Brooklyn for like the first 10 years of my life, and I'm gonna be 49, so I'm more of a Jersey guy than a New York guy at this point. So
I'd agree with that.
Well, you're not far from me. I'm out in Long Island, New York, so there you go.
I'm up there at least once or twice a year, Mike. I got family up in Medford, so.
Oh, very good. Okay, yeah, you got to go past me. I own a business in Deer Park.
All right, yeah.
All good. Hail Jersey.
Hey, Michael Ferraro, what's up, brother?
By the way, Anthony has 3 beautiful huskies.
Ooh, huskies! Yes. You're a glutton for punishment, aren't you?
Yes, it's their house. I just pay the bills. So.
you just take care of everybody.
Yeah,
you just pay the bills. I know. All right, back to Fanboy for us. What's your favorite, or who is your favorite artist? Any genre. Could be art, could be movies, could be TV, whatever.
Oh, if we're talking like comic book artist, Todd McFarlane. If we're talking music, Slash.
Okay.
I like his top hat.
Yes. All right. Favorite food, any kind, dessert or regular?
Pizza.
We get that a lot. Pizza seems to be the steady go-to for a lot of people. A lot of artists in general.
Yeah.
I think pizza, it's because it's so easy. You place an order, they deliver to your house. You can still continue drawing while you're sucking down a couple of slices of pizza.
Oh, that's true.
Favorite drink?
Scotch.
Okay. Easy enough. Your favorite character, any genre? TV, movies, comic, anything.
Ooh, okay. Favorite character, Freddy Krueger.
All right. A horror guy. And lastly, your favorite band.
Oh, Typo Negative.
What kind of music is that? I don't know. It sounds like it might be punk.
And more like industrial. It started off as more like industrial metal, and then like evolved into goth metal. Yeah.
I was gonna. They're on the verge of screech metal too. Sometimes.
Yeah. When Kenny sang, well, they're not together anymore since Peter died.
Right, but when Kenny would sing.
Yeah, when Kenny would sing instead of Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I would consider them industrial metal.
Yeah. Because they started off as Carnivore, which was an industrial metal band in the 80s, and then in the 90s switched over to Typo Negative. The first album, and then their live version, which was just re-recorded in the studio, and then threw live sound effects over it, and they totally fooled the studio. because they had a live album in their contract and they didn't want to do one. So they just re-recorded the original album and put like the sound of an audience at a nightclub in the background, and just like mixed it so it sounded live. And for like the first year the album was out, the studio thought it was a live album. But
That's
so that
funny.
album,
That's funny.
yes. So Slow, Deep, and Hard and Origin of the Feces is industrial, but then you get to Bloody Kisses, which had Black Number One on it, and then of course October Rust. Those were like their goth. They were basically the godfathers of goth metal. And then with World Coming Down, they started to get back into the industrial sound, with still keeping elements of the goth. So yeah.
Does anybody know what?
Our producer Cosmic Grandpa said his daughter is a huge Type O fan.
Oh yeah, what you call it? Anybody? I would say anybody who listens to rock or metal that's over the age of like 35 knows of Type O. If not, is a fan of theirs. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And then
I'm more of an indie girl.
Not Rain was just saying black number one.
Yeah, I want to know what that is referencing. Is that like a song lyric?
It's a song. The name of a song called Black Number One. It's Black NO.1, like the hair dye, Black Number One. So it's referencing goth girls and how they would dye their hair black. Because the lyric is black, 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 black number one. She dyes them black.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
It seems like Nat might be just singing in the chat now. Her roots are showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He's singing that's the lyrics.
That's the lyrics. She
All right.
wants to
Well,
go
thank you.
out
Thank you for
'cause
that,
it's
Nat.
flowing. She can't go out 'cause her roots are showing, dying black. The whole song is about dyeing your hair black. It's about goth girls dyeing their hair black.
All right. Well, I think that's a perfect segue out of fanboy for us. You're done, right, Batman?
Yes, that was the last question. But I want to just say, I hope that somewhere down the road, if they're going to continue the Wednesday show, show, that they use some of Type O Negative's music in there.
Who's that? Us?
What
Wednesday, the TV show from the Addams Family.
Oh,
yes. The solo show they came out with. They started season 2, or they're going to start season 2, or I don't know.
They should. They
Yeah,
really should.
Absolutely. Type O would be perfect for that show.
Yeah. If you ever saw did you ever see the movie, real quick, before we move on? I'm not trying to hold you up, but just so, Christy, did you ever see the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yes.
A long time ago. And when things are about 24 hours after viewing, I forget them.
Oh, the very opening scene, the credit where like the camera's flying over the bay, because it takes place in that shipping town, the fishing town. The cameras and they're doing the credits. The opening song is Type O Negative doing a cover of Summer Breeze in that.
Oh, that kind of.
I didn't know that. That's
fun. Cool. Now I'm gonna have to go watch the movie to hear the song. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. So yeah, every 90s goth kid knows that song.
True.
I guess I was always kind of afraid of goths. I think I was, because I was an indie kid. Anyway, I did want to take that as a segue, talking about music, into one of your creative passions, which is obviously music. I did go back and watch your open mic night from this year, and that was fun. That you had a lot of people come. Yeah. You had a bunch of people come on and do karaoke on your show for Christmas. But was that one of your first creative passions, music? Or I just kind of want to know your origin story.
So I guess art was first. Music, it's kind of hard. They both kind of started at the same time. I guess I started drawing younger, chicken scratch drawings, but I enjoyed tracing and doodling and drawing and trying to draw all the cartoons that I liked, and then right around 9 I picked up the saxophone.
Me too. I'm a sax kid.
Yeah. I played sax, all the way, like, I even played sax after high school. I was in a couple of ska and jazz bands. Like,
nice.
Yeah. And then piano.
We used to
when I
have
was 12.
sax parties. we did. Anyway,
Did
go
you
on.
really? I thought you were trying to make a joke.
No, we really did. It was insane because we were so band nerdy. Our parents let us have co-ed sleepovers. We had sax parties.
Oh, see, we weren't allowed because within the band there was like our little group, which was like all the metalheads, and we were the ones that were always getting into trouble while we were, we almost got our band kicked out of like the championships because we were smoking weed behind the bus.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Yeah. You guys would have been kicked out of our band immediately.
We were the ones on the back, back of the bus with the big boombox blasting the metal music and like who's making out with who, and like literally like this one time at band camp, that line
So
from
you
American
literally
Pie.
made that happen.
Yeah.
No, me, I was like, what? No, it's not like that.
Oh, it was totally like that. I learned everything. I learned more in band camp than I learned in sex ed. Like, I swear.
Oh, I'm sure.
So wait a minute, I have to ask now that you said the back of the bus. Did you guys ever have what's called rainbow parties?
I don't know. What's a rainbow party?
Oh, I think that has something to do with lipstick, different colors of lipstick on different girls.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh,
no.
That's terrible.
We had
did
one on a
that.
ski trip, a ski trip through the high school once, and it got pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, you know why? You know why we never did that? Because my one buddy on the back of the bus coming home from one of the football games, him and the one girl who was in the color guard, they were dating, and she was going down, and we hit a bump, and
Did she have braces on or?
no, but when you hit a bump and you poor guy was bleeding a little bit, and so nobody ever attempted that again on the back of the bus.
Wow. Now I do wonder about the color guard girls. Actually, I always did. But yeah.
Oh, most of my girlfriends in high school were from the color guard.
I think that's kind of how it worked out in band a lot, where, the girlfriends were the color guard girls.
Yeah.
Because they were easy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, I'm completely proud of being a band nerd, back in the day. We had good times.
It was good. It was fun. Yeah, I mean, but music eventually took over for me. Like, and starting when I was like 16, I picked up my first guitar. It was off to the races. I was in bands for 20 years, playing in the local scene. Always coming this close and never really making it, but it was fun. We had a lot of good times. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by coming this close? Like, were you approached by labels saying "sell your soul"?
No, I wish I would have sold my soul. No, I wouldn't have. I say that now as a joke, but no, we knew better. But like, just like rubbing shoulders with bands who did like eventually make it. Like, I'm not even a big fan of theirs, and we only played with them twice. Who's the band? The singer dated that one girl who caused a lot of uproar on Twitter last year or 2 years ago. Eliza Blue. She dated the guy. They started off as a Jersey band, and they went out to California. Keep wanting to say 3 Days Grace, but it's not 3 Days Grace. My Chemical Romance.
Oh,
Might have been My Chemical Romance.
they're kind of big.
Yeah. I mean, just what you call it, like the one guy's band that like we always played. We didn't play. We weren't in the same band, but we played with them. Was the son of Sebastian Bach, and playing at like I mean, I was actually playing a covered version of "I Remember You" when Sebastian Bach walked in the bar I was playing at.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pressure, especially since I don't have the vocal range that he does, and I slowed it down and sang it like 2 octaves lower. But he came up to me afterwards and was like he dug it, so it was cool. Yeah, we had a good. Yeah.
Well, so how hard did you grind on like trying to become, something in the music industry? I mean, there's so many avenues to take, because you can just be somebody that gets invited to jam with people and all that kind of stuff. I mean, how hard did you grind on that?
I mean, the first 5 years we were playing out 4 to 5 nights a week, different places every night, working like a day job, sometimes not working a day job at all. Yeah, it was, the problem was it was our own fault. We were already starting to live, because we were hanging out with a lot of like names that were getting big or were already big. Like like I said, like that night, like after that night and then meeting his son, like every time I would see Sebastian Bach, the dude would be buying us shots. We were already living the rock and roll lifestyle, but we weren't rock stars yet, Right. So it was kind of our own fault, but it was fun.
That's funny, because kind of the rock and roll lifestyle, as far as somebody that wasn't really like, a no name or anything like that. Tell me your craziest rock and roll lifestyle story.
The craziest?
Yeah. I mean, I think plenty of people, even though, you don't have a name or anything like that, if you're living the lifestyle, like you've got to have a
there's
crazy
so
story.
many. I mean,
just pick one.
Inviting the whole venue back to my buddy, the other guitar player's house. So there was like 100 people, almost 200 people in this house that was not meant to hold 200 people. And just out of like the 100 to 200 people, like 80% were basically naked. There was like literally a mountain of white substance on the coffee table. I'm not going to say what, I'm not incriminating myself. Yeah. Big mountain of whipped cream on the coffee table that people were just shoveling up their nose. I was up in one room with like 2 girls. My buddy was in a room with like 3 girls, and then like afterwards, 2 of them came into the room I was in, and the other 2 went into the room that he was in. Yeah, it's a lot of degeneracy. A lot of degeneracy. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're kind of like in your publishing phase of your life, trying to make it big again. Good luck. I kid. Do you prefer what you're doing now? Do you want to still try to make it in music? I mean,
no, I'm 49 years old, man. I ain't got time for that.
Well, are you glad though that you didn't quite make it? That was more my question. Like,
am I glad?
Because it's kind of like rode hard, put away wet type of thing.
I'm alive, so that's yeah. Because I don't think that would be the case. I know a lot of guys that didn't survive.
I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing that I'm saying. Like, if you would have made it even slightly more, in the music scene. Do you feel like you would have resisted the temptation and addiction and all that kind of stuff?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
I would have went. Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses were like my idols. So, like that, like the lifestyle was glamorous. In my mind, it was glamorous. We're about the same age. We grew up in the 80s. MTV basically put that lifestyle like on a silver platter with a big bow and said, here, this is what you should strive to be.
Heck yeah, it did. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm already getting my tinfoil hat on. It's kind of like that whole like CIA made the hippie movement happened with the drugs and the sex and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, for us all to like basically destroy our lives, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it was too fun. You know what I mean? It was too fun. Like, I don't regret a thing, and I'm glad like I was able to sway out of it when I did. Because like I said, a lot of guys in 2016, I put the guitar down for 3 years because my bass player passed away. He couldn't shake it. You know what I mean? Like, that was the final straw. My guitar player. So the band I was in had 2 iterations. There was the original lineup and then the second lineup, which ironically, the second lineup were guys that I've been playing music with longer since we were kids. And the guitar player that I told you about, where we were up in he was in one room and I was in he wound up passing away. And then when the second iteration of the band started with my childhood buddies and the bass player, once those 2 guys passed away, I was done because it was just like.
Well, for anybody that's interested out there that wants to see your old bands, is there a way to find your old music?
There is a YouTube channel called One Shot Too Many, but it's not really. It was more just us posting videos. I never like promoted it or anything because I wasn't really keen on the whole social media thing back then. But it's spelt with the numbers 1 and number 2. I could probably pull it up. And it'll have some live performances at certain little dive bars that we were playing at the time.
Well, because that was the thing, Anthony, like preparing for the show, I knew that you're a musician and I have the opening house band. I'm like, oh, I need to find some of Anthony's music, and I could not find it. It's like, damn, that sucks. Well, yeah, anything. I mean, I found some of the stuff you've done on YouTube, but the sound's not that great and all that. I'm like, oh, okay,
Right.
I'll pick somebody else. But it would have been something that would have been cool to find out about you, which I am going to segue right there into your website for our audience, anybody that wants to find out what Anthony's doing. My best guess is to go to darkgiftcomics.com. And you're going to find some of Anthony's stuff along with people that he's publishing, like our good friend, Doc Blaylock, who is also a musician, but apparently didn't get into the hard drugs. But he liked the pussy, apparently.
I tell you what, any guy who picked up an instrument and says, I did it for the love of the music, is lying to you. They picked up an instrument because they wanted to get laid. They might have kept playing if they were a lifelong musician because of the love of the music. But initially, especially if it's like something like the drums or the guitar, like your saxophone, when you're a kid, your mom it was like, you're gonna learn to play piano or sax or violin, whatever. That might be a different story. But like if you chose to pick up the guitar or the drumsticks or something like that, you did it because you were trying to get laid. You might have, again, fell in love with playing music and stuck with it because of that. But yeah, you did it because you were trying to get pussy. That's basically.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because even in high school band, you get pussy being in the band. I mean,
absolutely. But the cool thing about this like comic book scene, though, it keeps me busy musically. Well, it did, not in a while, but the first couple of things I did before, like helping people publish their books or even publishing my own, was I did a lot of music for people's campaign trailers. So
I did not know this.
Yeah.
And now you've been replaced by AI music. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Well, that makes, what do you think about AI, by the way? Because there's been so many freaking different opinions on this show in particular. Like, I'd love to know what you think about it, because I think one of the best comments I got, and I think it came from RJ from Critical Blast, was everybody hates AI until they use it for the thing that they're not doing. Like, for example, artists love it, or independent publishers love it to like make their music for their campaign trailer and things like that. So I'd love,
You could,
because
you
you
can
have your
hear.
fingers in all the creative part. Like you're fingering all the creative, right? That's Anthony. That's how I feel about you. So do you
There's a
completely
reason.
hate it?
There's a reason why Skynet was the villain. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. There's a reason why Skynet was the villain.
All right.
No, I mean, you could the art you could tell. I mean, the minute you see AI art, you know it's AI. I don't care how good it is. I don't care if you're trying to do a realistic photo. Like somebody pulled up a photo of something. We were in a back room, and they were like, "Look at this," and I was like, "What are they doing? AI porn now? Like, there's AI porn now."
Well,
and they try to make it look real.
That seems to be the number one reason, for AI is just to create that content.
Yeah, I mean, and then like the music, you could totally I've messed around with it as a joke, but you could hear it. You could hear that it's AI. Like there's,
for the moment, at least, you have to admit that for the moment.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, it's not a real guitar. Like, it's not even a sampling of a guitar. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's taking a sample of somebody playing the guitar and then rearranging it. It's mimicking what it knows a guitar to sound like. So when you're putting this fake guitar sound over a fake drum sound with fake lyric, like a fake voice, it for somebody who you could hear there's no space. Like there's no space in the layers of the track. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it. There's no air in between the track. It's just all muddied together.
All right.
Because the
AI
but
let me ask you this though. It will improve. I mean, undeniably, it's going to improve.
Possibly,
because it's being fed, it's being prompted, and it's searching more stuff. And I had an interesting question posed to me a while ago about AI. Is say you like something, right? You're like, hey, this is great, I'm rocking to it or whatever, and you love it, right? If 2 days later, after you're loving it, it's exposed to you that it's AI doing whatever portion, you don't know what portion, maybe somebody fed in the lyrics or somebody fed in something, right? Are you then going to be like, I hate it?
Yes.
Are you going to feel embarrassed because you were duped?
No. I'll be pissed, but I won't be embarrassed.
I think that's maybe the masculine version of embarrassed is being pissed.
No, I'd just be pissed at myself for not being able to pick it up, because you can as of right now, even what's it, sumo or suno or whatever. Like I said, I've dabbled with it as a joke, on the fly on a stream. Somebody said something funny, and then oh, that should be a song, and then you just pull it up and you real quick throw make a song about blah 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 blah, and then you play it real quick on the stream, right? Nothing crazy. But they have their version 4 of their engine. And it's cleaner, right? It is cleaner. It's a more enhanced sound, but it just sounds like somebody was just mixing the EQs. But again, the problem with that is if it's not layered properly. Now maybe they'll teach the AI to eventually layer properly, but then you got to also then at that point teach the AI how to master and mix and all that stuff. But that's the thing, there's no layer to it. So once you start messing with you could take an AI song, and if I start running it through and start trying to adjust EQs and stuff, it just gets muddier and muddier because there's no separation. It's all one track, right? It's like taking your CD after it's been mixed and burnt to a CD, and then trying to play with the EQ off of that. You might get a better bass sound or a better treble sound, but once you start trying to like actually run it through a program, that mono track is now gonna get muddied. You know, it's just gonna, yeah. So.
All right. I understand. And, you know, kind of to go along with your own frustration, I'm looking for this one comment here. Here we go. Doc, listen, I'm not on YouTube right now. I'm in StreamYard, and I don't know how to give you a wrench, but I love you. And I would say, and I think this is a testament to how much people freaking love you, Anthony, because me personally, like being West Coast, I'm scared of anybody from New Jersey, right? But you're so fucking nice. No, it's because we're like kind of polar opposites. But I'm like, it's also why I really like you, because like I've teased you on a stream or two and you're like, no, I'm not like that. And I'm like, now I feel like the fucking asshole. You're supposed to be the asshole.
You know, it's funny. It's like I am an asshole, but it's hard to explain. Like if I know you, I'm an asshole. Like the more I know you, the bigger
like
of an asshole I
Dillard.
am. Yeah.
No, actually, I think Dillard's an asshole no matter how much you know him. I think that is probably the difference between West Coast and East Coast. We're all assholes, like, because we're like being sarcastic, you know, we're our California sarcastic self. And it's like, oh, this person's going to get it. But you're East Coast and I fucking tease you and I'm an asshole. And you're like, no, it's not like that. I'm like, I'm a dick. Anyway, I just had to say, Doc, I can't give you a wrench right now. Anthony, if you'd like, where should people find you? I mean, I'm sending them to darkgiftcomics.com.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, because on social media, I'm Dark Gift Comics or Dark Gift Comics Presents on all the social medias. So, and on the website, there should be links to most of my socials. And in my YouTube description, in any stream or video on my YouTube channel, are the links to all my other social medias. So, just basically search Dark Gift Comics. Dark Gift being one word. But
and it's not dark grift, everybody.
That's right, Michael. Jersey guys are fun assholes. We are. We're the fun guys. You know, we're the ones that like, you know. Anthony is not nice. His intros are some of the worst civil rights violations.
What? I missed that one.
It's a lasmat. Listen. You're the only one that considers your intro racist because it has ducks in it. I don't know what to tell you, Alasmat.
Oh, there it is. Hello, Alasmat. Hey, Anthony, I got to tell you, you are the biggest draw so far since we've gone over to StreamYard. I see 66 people are watching. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with Creative Chaos. I'm getting to know Anthony quite a bit better and learning why he's never been quite the asshole to me. It's because he doesn't know me. That's going to happen.
If I get to, but the thing is, sometimes I don't know when to stop. Like you know, the more, because like the more I know you, the more comfortable I am with being an asshole, and then you get mad at me because, you know, I make a stupid video and.
So here's the deal. Like I literally have not. Oh my gosh. By the way, I'm sorry. I have to stop and say thank you. Thank you, Subpack Vet. And also thank you to Ghost Pepper over on Pilled. But thank you, Subpack Vet, for the can. That's money, by the way, over on Pilled.net. Anybody watching that doesn't know what Pilled.net is, go check it out. It is a 100% free speech platform. And if you think you can't be offended, go over to Pill.net and start scrolling their live streams. I guarantee you're going to be offended at something.
Yeah, just tune into Salty Nuts. You can always get offended by him. But or PTP Podcast, another one that assaults your integrity. But anyway, real quick, just a quick shout out to my boy Subpack Vet. That's my buddy. He's up in Washington, in Idaho, trying to build his homestead. Iowa, trying to build his homestead. No, Idaho, yeah. Idaho, Washington, right next to each other. He's out there working on his homestead. That's a buddy of mine. So
Nice.
thank you, Subpack. Appreciate you. But I think I think we're kind of like getting lost in the weeds here because we're talking so much music that we haven't
That
even
is
gotten into
true.
conspiracy corner. And I wanted to hear what Anthony's favorite conspiracy was.
Oh my God, you're jumping segments. Are you trying to get out of here?
Not at all. Not at all. I was just kind of like we got so involved in the music, and I enjoy it because I'm a music buff too. But I've never had the opportunity to play an instrument, so I don't know. I play a harmonica. That's as much music as I can play.
Dude, harmonica, man. It's one thing that I'm still working on. I just haven't spent the time on it, but usually if I pick up an instrument and I spend enough time on it, I can pick it up. And harmonica is one that I want to get the thing where you put it around your neck and it just holds it there. So while I'm playing the guitar, I can play the harmonica. But I gotta learn to play the harmonica first. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love the blues.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Big blues fan. I mean, I listen to everything. I have a very eclectic palette of music. You know, I listen to everything from, Bach to blues. So I'm all the way in.
Yeah, me too. Me too. My favorite conspiracy. Whew.
No. We're not
there yet. We're not there yet. We have a whole
Oh.
segment. We have an intro. We have a stinger. We got a whole 9 yards to go into, Anthony.
And
She
you
has
know
the
what?
whole show mapped out. So I'm going to turn it back over to her, and I'm going to digress and let her go back to her programming.
I love that I rule this place with such an iron fist that my co-host is like, I digress. He digresses almost all the time, just to let you know. No, here's the thing. We haven't even really talked about your publishing because I thought we were going to spend a lot of time on this, but we did talk a lot about music. So you are officially a publisher, right? And I put that in quotes because I'm a publisher too. And it is because I have my own insecurities about being a publisher and like not being fucking rich, right? Because that to me, when you think of publisher, like it means you're rich.
You think of a company, right? Like
you think of a company.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just one dude sitting in his office with a fucking stack of Gemini mailers over there. And
yes.
Yeah.
I am so curious to know why you decided to become a publisher for other people. And that's another thing. I'm not going to get too into the weeds on that. Tell me about becoming a publisher for a lot of independents. I mean, how did you arrive there?
Well, after being considered a super backer, at this point, I think I'm over like 400 different campaigns.
Wow.
Well, I should say backings, because some of them were like multiple on the same campaign because, something new came out or whatever. But yeah, after 400 backings between crowdfunding sites, websites, eBays, Etsy's, just hitting somebody up and PayPaling them, stuff like that. I was considered a super backer and a promoter. And then I decided, like I said, I was doing music. So I've done like, between like people's YouTube channels and their campaigns, I've done like maybe 10 to 12 songs for people's like intros or trailers or whatever. And then I decided to like take my stab at making a book. I teamed up with somebody, a writer, and that's Hunting Alice. And as that was going on, maybe like a year later, I get an email out of the blue from a person named Liz Scocho, otherwise known as Iron Liz from Channel Awesome. If anybody knows their internet lore, it was one of the first commentator channels out there.
Commentator on what?
Pop culture.
Okay.
And asking if she wanted to take Linkara's highly panned webcomic Lightbringer, since he put it in public domain, and tried to make something good out of it. And is this a prank? Like, why is this person emailing me? Right? Like, why is she asking me to help her publish this comic? I ignored it. I didn't even answer because I thought I was, how the internet is, trolls
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
like that. Yeah. You put yourself out there enough, you gain a couple of haters here or there. And I'm like, I even got a night letter. Somebody in California sent me a letter where they typed up my address onto an envelope and then typed a little note saying, when on a public forum, don't promote hate speech or something like that. I saved it. It's in my desk drawer. Yeah, it was an anonymous letter. Yeah, I was like, all right, this is something like that, right? Somebody's just messing with me. And then like a week goes by, and then I get another email. So this time I say, sure, I'd be interested if you want to set up a video meeting. Let me know. Figured they wouldn't do it, right? I was just kind of testing the waters, and sure enough, I get a link to a Zoom call, and I meet Liz, and I ask her, why do you need my help? I mean, you literally, she gives me the backstory because I didn't know much about the Linkara thing or Channel Awesome or any ties to these bigger YouTubers that she had. I'm like, why do you need me? And basically, she was canceled because of her views. Liz, for those who don't know, is trans, but is not in that ideology of science is wrong and I'm a delusion. Basically, I have a mental illness. I was born a man. This is just how I am. Keep it away from kids. And she's a Trump supporter, born again Christian. It's like the weirdest combination of like personalities for a person, right? And she got canceled and had no, whatever. So I'm like, me being socially liberal, I don't give two shits about that kind of stuff. As long as you're not trying to change reality and you're not indoctrinating anybody.
So you're like a libertarian.
Yeah. What would be considered a liberal in the 90s and a libertarian today. Yeah, exactly. Right. So we get to talking, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, am I ready to publish for somebody else? I barely know what the hell I'm doing on my own, But I was like, I remember a conversation I had with my sister and brother-in-law who were making excuses for not having kids yet. They were like, oh, we're not ready. We're not financially this. We're not that. And I remember saying to them, if you keep making excuses, you're never going to be ready. You know what I mean? And I decided to take my own advice. And boom, we went for it. And as we were in the middle of that, I had met Doc. And Doc, who's a boomer when it comes to like half the stuff, technology-wise.
I accept him as a Gen X, by the way. Like in about half of what Doc is.
I think he's Gen X. I say boomer in the colloquial internet.
No, I
term,
know. I
boomer.
knew what you meant. I did.
Yeah, not as in baby boomer, but well, I don't know. How old is Doc? 80? Maybe he is a baby boomer.
Oh, hey-o.
He might be the greatest generation for all I know. I don't know.
Love you, Doc.
But we were getting along, and what it is it's not just helping people who don't know what they're doing. Sometimes some of these guys could do it on their own, you know what I mean? But like they just don't want to. They don't want to deal with the printers and like.
Well, and I'm gonna stop you at the printer thing, because that's when I think of publisher, I think clout, right? You have clout, you are promoting, like, I feel like that's one of the publisher's biggest jobs, is to have the audience, right? To be able to promote to them and everything, which is the scariest thing for artists and independent publishers and things like that. And personally, me as Flip City representative on the internet and all that, it's fucking hard. It's fucking scary. But
Yeah.
once you get there and you have the clout and the basically you're known to be able to curate, good content and stuff like that, you're fucking golden, and you're gonna get rich.
Here's the thing though, like if you, especially for someone like myself who's been around this little pocket of the scene for 7 years. Right? 27. Yeah, just hit 7 years. Starting off in the culture war fight where you're arguing with commies and stuff on the internet and whatever. And, you get a reputation as known as the fence sitter, which is just a lack of imagination term for somebody who just has some
doesn't
rational thinking skills.
Like I basically kind of take that as somebody that hasn't fallen into the hive mind, whether it be left or right. Yes, the right has a hive mind too, everybody.
Yeah, but typically this would be within our little group. We lost Christy.
I'm here.
Well, you're not on screen.
I'm here too. She just dropped off screen.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm here. Go ahead, Anthony.
I don't even know how we're hearing you right now. Yeah, like if people were beefing and I'd be, it'd just be like if you have like a certain idea. Like I have opinions. Sometimes people just don't like my opinions, so I keep them to myself. Or
oh Lord.
Ooh, what's going on?
I don't doubt for a second.
StreamYard's acting up, or Cosmic lost control of the show.
Weird.
Let me do this. Go ahead, Anthony. Keep talking.
Yeah. So like, just what is going on?
I don't know. Let me look at the private chat. Hey, maybe we've gotten so big that we're getting fucked with the CIA.
Yeah, it's weird. Why are you not on screen? There you
We
are.
haven't even hit conspiracy corner yet, and we're getting fucked with by the CIA.
I'm doing doc now. Okay.
Well, yeah. So the fence sitter moniker is just a thing, right? So a lot of the audience that you garner sometimes, like half of that is like hate watchers, right? So it's like you kind of have to understand that, like, okay, if you have X amount of subs and X amount of followers and on social medias here and there, just in my mind, I gotta go 50% of them are probably hate watchers. So I'm really only working with X amount of people, and from there I have to still I gotta still put in the work. I still gotta go out there, and as much as I hate it, but you gotta do it. You gotta put those little promo tweets out there, and and join as many groups as you possibly can, with the hopes that one person in like a group of 100 and something people will share your tweet out or whatnot. So DG, you should check out Dead Internet. Oh no, I know Dead Internet Theory. That's like the theory that like 90% of the internet are all bots. They're not even real. Yeah. I mean, that.
Hello, Mindy, by the way. Hello.
Yeah, that's probably true too. You know what I mean? So like, let's say that's true. So let's say like 50% of your audience are bots, and then like 50% of the live viewers are hate watchers. Now you're dealing with like a quarter of your audience are actually fans and possible customers. You know what I mean? So you literally have to build up and keep building. Like, you can't settle. Oh, I have 2,000 subs. Oh, I'm good. No, you're not good. Like just keep going, keep pushing, keep finding new corners to circle yourself in. It gets tiresome, and sometimes you get placated, and you kind of stay stagnant for a little while, and then you gotta like 2024 was me revamping my mindset for most of the year to a all-inclusive indie channel, right? Like, and that's why like having you and Bat Sauce join the show is actually productive to what I've anticipated since May, when I started changing the name of the show. I went from CG Slumlords to Indie Slumlords, and now Madhouse Slumlords podcast. But the Indie Slumlords thing, a lot of people took it as a slight. It wasn't a slight. It was a.
I actually kind of love the name.
Yeah, I wanted to get authors and musicians, anybody indie, you know, to be a part of the show, not just
You
comic
know,
book people. Even though most of
for
us are comic book
sure.
people.
For sure, because I think even it might have been a tweet or something that you had said online saying it's not just comics, it's magazines. And I'm like, hey, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
magazine, but it is
Magazine
a comic
publishers.
magazine.
But still, I mean, it's a magazine, right? Like it's not your typical format of like let's put together a 32-page comic or a 68-page graphic novel, or you know what I mean? Or it's a whole different beast, and it's a whole different mindset, and it's a whole different outlook on what you're going through within the indie scene. That's a cool voice to have on a show where we're talking about pop culture and stuff like that.
You know what? I'm going to take this as a perfect segue into mansplain because you've basically been mansplaining this entire time. So we're just going to get into that segment right now. So, cause
talk with your hips. I said, shush, girl. Shut your lips. Do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips. I said, shush, girl. Shut your lips. Do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips.
All right. I don't think we've played that stinger before, so I'm shushed. But I thought, the path that you were going down before we entered the segment of mansplaining is for a publisher, trying to make noise on the internet of like, hey, look here. I'd love to hear your top 3 tips of getting that done as an independent, and like why you shouldn't feel that it's so cringe, because it feels cringe, right? It feels cringe.
Yeah, it's all cringe. Here's the thing. I take a lot. I take a lot of what I learned with music and my time especially like in the early days of the internet, right? Like 2000 to 2010, where like Friendster and MySpace and forums and chat rooms and stuff like that, where like it was like the Wild West of like promo. And I try to incorporate it here. And here, the one thing that I'll say is you're a very, very loud voice in a thunderstorm of chaos. So, number one, don't get, my first tip is don't get discouraged and dissuaded because you're not getting the attention that you're trying to get, because there's a million other people trying to get that same attention,
Indeed.
So it doesn't matter how loud you scream, there's somebody screaming louder and then somebody screaming louder, and then it's just a cacophony of screaming, right? So
I call it the screaming ones and zeros.
Yeah. My second tip would be, and I hate it, but it's true. Don't be afraid to dabble in a little bit of controversy. I know.
That's the cringest, I think.
Yeah. I'm not saying drama farm, and everybody will say, oh, look, you're drama farming.
Well, okay. So differentiate. What is the difference between those things?
The difference is if you base your whole personality and your whole content series on it, then you're drama farming.
Okay.
Right? But if you see something out there that you feel strongly on and you want to voice your opinion, don't be like, I really shouldn't do that because it's not a good look and blah, 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 blah. It might not be a good look, but it'll get eyes on you. You know what I mean? So, but have your opinions. Voice your opinions. Be as professional as possible with those opinions, but don't be afraid to get, to dabble in a little bit of controversy.
All right. I'm going to stop you right there because that is something that I feel that you've done a pretty good job in perfecting. Not that I like look a lot at it, but anytime I've seen you dealing with controversy or drama, like you seem to keep it really fucking professional. I haven't seen anybody do it to the level that you do. So congratulations.
Well, I mean, this goes back to the whole fence sitter thing. A lot of the times it's just using logic and reasoning with your ideas and opinions on a certain topic. Some people consider that like fence sitting because you might say, well, I kind of get where this person's coming from, even though I disagree, right? Like they'll call that fence sitting. But it's just me looking at a bird's eye view at the bigger picture of the situation, right? Like
it also kind of seems like humanity, you know, like, yeah, don't be fucking reactionary.
Yeah. So I but it's like, I don't know. I guess the internet is built a certain way. And if they, they either want like total compliance with their idea or total compliance with this whatever. I don't concede to that. And besides the fact, I'm not looking to offend 150,000 people. If I'm getting into an argument with one person, my argument is with that one person. So if I turn around and make blanket statements about certain people or groups or whatever, I'm insulting a whole base of people that I don't even know. Some of them I might actually be friends with. Some of them could be customers. Some of them could be audience, fans of my music or my shows or whatever. You know what I mean? So, listen, is that me playing the game? Maybe, but at the same time, it's like, again, even if I wasn't selling something or you're trying to gain a YouTube following or a social media following, I wouldn't want to insult somebody for the sake of insulting somebody, just to get at one person. Well, right? I wouldn't want to insult you two just to get a doc, right? Like, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't, you know what I mean? And I say that because you're on Doc's show. So if I turn around and said, oh, Doc's show and all the people that hang out with him are a bunch of losers and blah, 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 that includes you, which, then by, association, Bruce, who I just met, is now I just called him a loser, and now Bruce is going, what the fuck did I do? Like, why is he calling me a loser? Right? I don't even know this guy.
What the fuck did I do?
Right. So, yeah, it's really weird how, and you see grown adults acting like juveniles, and then being upset when you kind of even like politely say that to them. Like if you're friendly with them, you can just politely say, dude, I think you're being a little childish on this one. And then boom, they are no longer your friend. You know what I mean?
Right.
Call a spade a spade, and if they're being a dick, call them a dick.
Right. That's how we are here. Listen, if me and my boys are hanging out in a bar, my one buddy's getting a little tipsy and he's starting to like mouth off to some broad and being a little inappropriate. You smack him upside the head and go, dude, you're being a fucking douche.
Exactly.
Right?
I love that the word broad was... I love the word broad was used in mansplain, by the way.
I love the word broad.
I do too, actually. I think it's a wonderful a descriptor, You know what a broad is. And you know what? I'm not offended at anybody calling me a broad because I fucking have wide hips. That is all I think of when I hear broad. I'm like, I got baby bear and hips, bitch.
Yeah, but
anyway,
again,
we haven't gotten to number 3,
right? Yeah. So my second tip would be: don't be afraid of controversy. Just don't become consumed by it. And number 3 is
do you even remember what the question was? Because I don't.
Yes, I'm trying to think of what my third tip, a third tip would be. I guess a third. Because those first 2 are like ones that I think about all the time, but this one I guess is, I know it's the internet and everybody has to like kind of amp up their personality a little bit, to put on a show, so to speak. But really, just be yourself, be passionate about what you're doing, but don't be robotic, right? Like, I used to do it too. I used to do those hour-long chill streams where you do it kind of like this, where we're just shooting the shit, but then in the process, you're also talking about the book and like, let's go through every tier and every this and blah blah blah. And like 7 years ago, that worked. You know what I mean? 7 years ago, people that were new to this scene, which most of us were, never seen an Indiegogo campaign. So it was like getting a step-by-step lesson on how to go into this page and pick out what you want and then go back it. And
Right.
we've all seen it now. We all kind of know how to deal with it, whether it be Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Fund My Comic. We don't need to go through every tier. We don't need to go through like every like nuanced version of why you came up with this character and how long ago and this. Like I get it, and like, you know, a lot of that's important. A lot of that can come out in a natural it can come out in a natural conversation though. If you're like robotic and you're just going through like this scripted sit down of like so when did you come up with the character? What's the inspiration behind it? Like no, like it should be natural. Like that information can come out naturally. I think having a show like what you're doing here, where maybe you're getting to know the person, we're having fun, we're talking about music, we're making jokes, this, that, and the other thing, that's cool. If you want to do something like that, but then like every 5 minutes, pull up the campaign real quick and be like, hey, don't forget about so-and-so, and don't forget about, you know, this, that's cool. I think that's the best way to go. Try to just be yourself, be natural, and don't be structured and robotic. You know, the audience has to see something loose and engaging and natural and organic for them to be connected to it. If they just see this robotic, same formulaic thing, you know, every show, everything time you want to try to promote somebody, they're just going to tune out.
I absolutely agree. And this segment was brought to you by Johnny Walker's Black Label. It's going to help you become more genuine. Yeah, wouldn't it be great if they threw us some cash for that shit? That'd be great.
I do like a bourbon every now and then too, Bruce. I got a little Angel's Envy over here.
Yeah, Angel Envy's is good too. Yeah.
And this I got from one of the weddings I worked. The guy owns his own distillery. He makes a old-fashioned American whiskey right here in New Jersey called Proper Cock, which I find the name hilarious.
It's just Proper Cock. I'm sorry. We're
Proper Cock. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's it's an already mixed old fashioned.
No, it's an old-fashioned American whiskey. Yeah, not an old-fashioned drink. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Basically, along the lines of like a Seagram 7 or a Jack Daniels, you know, although they're
right, the old school.
Mash. Yeah, but it's funny because I saved that. I haven't done one. I got to put together a new show, but we have a show called Indie Cockfight where we get two artists to come on, kayfabe talk shit to each other and diss each other while they 2 hours to compete in a drawing competition.
Yeah. We're done with your mansplain. We got to get into our next segment because you guys, we've been streaming for an hour and a half. And Anthony, I know you just like to go on and on and on, but I have to cut you off now. I'm taking back my own feminine privilege. And,
Womansplain me.
I'm going to womansplain you into our next segment because this is something that a vast majority of our regular viewing audience loves. And it is the final way that we get to know our guests every night. And it is the Creative Chaos Conspiracy Corner. So we're going to get into that corner right now.
I want to live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens.
All right. So we are now in Conspiracy Corner. I have no clue how much of a conspiracy theorist you are, but basically anybody with common sense is basically a conspiracy theorist these days. And we've got Levi popping in here saying, spin it, damn it. And I don't think you have any clue what you are in for tonight. Basically, we came up with a conspiracy wheel, right?
Okay.
And we're going to bring it up right now, and I'm going to explain the rules. All right. So we've got this conspiracy wheel here, and the rules are you get 3 spins. You can land on one and be like, dude, I love this conspiracy, and I can talk on it for another 2 hours. If you don't like it, you can do spin number 2. If you don't like that, you can do spin number 3. But here is where the twist comes in. No matter what, you have to speak on conspiracy number 3, even if you don't know anything about it. And that is where the writer portion of you would come in, and you can talk shit. I mean, you can just pull it out of your ass and talk on the conspiracy. Do you understand how the wheel works?
I get it. Yes. So,
All
little
right.
side note, going back to Typo Negative, they also do a cover of Cinnamon Girl. You should check it out if you like that song.
Cinnamon Girl?
That song that you just played, Conspiracy Girl, is a
That
parody.
wasn't Cinnamon Girl.
It's a spoof on Cinnamon Girl.
No, not Cinnamon Girl. It's oh shit.
Cinnamon
Is
Girl.
that the original song?
Yeah,
I drank too much.
I wanna live
I thought it-
with my cinnamon girl.
Yes,
I could
okay.
be happy the rest of my life.
Life with
her.
a Cinnamon Girl. Okay. I guess I never knew the original title.
Still got a band.
Basically, they're referring to a redhead.
Yes.
Well, we know about them. Sluts. Anyway, Cinnamon Girl. Oh, I will take that opportunity to thank the great Dr. Clown for the parody of Cinnamon Girl. All right, you ready to spin the wheel?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. You got cute drops.
Cue
Dude,
drops.
Dude, I love this one so fucking much for anybody that has any idea what QAnon is, because you could go conspiracy in like basically the flower of life, like 3-dimensional.
The Rubik's
Yes.
Cube was a psyop.
Yeah, I don't know much about QAnon. I just know that a lot of their stuff can get wacky. That's all I know.
There is that, and it could be a stand down psyop, all that kind of shit. Anyway,
All right, spin the wheel again, then, Anthony.
that
Spin the
can
wheel
be-
again.
Yes, I will spin because I don't know too much on that one. Oh, we're
That's a
so
big-
close to psychedelics.
Oh, I'd love to talk about that as well.
But
MK Ultra's
Ultra.
pretty good too.
Yeah, that's the brainwashing one, right? Like
Yeah.
they activate you, they brainwash you, and then activate you as like some weapon or whatever.
But
Right.
they is who?
You know, the hidden government,
Yeah.
deep state.
Not
Anyway,
Dr.
so-
Clown, but the clowns in America.
Yeah. Do I believe in MK Ultra? Let me think. Do I? I kind of
Well, I
do,
mean, you
but
don't-
I kind of don't.
You don't necessarily have to believe in it or anything like that. You can just talk on it and
It
express
is
Or
an
your
interesting
opinion.
concept.
Or he could
All right,
spin
all
the
right.
wheel
Whoa,
one
whoa,
last
wait,
time.
wait. Yes, thank you, Batman. Do you want to take your chance and be stuck with whatever you get, or do you want to talk about MK Ultra?
You know what? Let's go for it. I mean, I could talk about
No!
MK Ultra a little bit,
You know-
but let's
you know
go
what?
for it.
It is hilarious. Every time people take the third spin, they love what they get. So I wish
Yeah.
the best for you, sir.
I guarantee I'm probably going to get something I have no clue about, but go for it. Let's go. Because that's my love.
Skinwalkers.
All right.
We've never landed on that. So let's find out what Anthony thinks about skinwalkers. I love the Skinwalker Ranch, by the way.
Skinwalkers. All right. I mean, it depends on which version of the Skinwalkers you go with, right? Like,
well, what are the versions?
Well, I mean, there's the metaphysical one of like these like alternate dimensional beings walking amongst us as our, like, you know, as humans. Then there's the supernatural, you know, like your typical like werewolf or what have you, you know.
Your typical, that boring old werewolf.
Yeah. So I mean, but I find the like the lizard people, right? Like they're skinwalkers technically. Yeah.
All right. While you think about it, can I tell you an anecdotal story about
Sure.
skinwalkers? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I rarely take over in the conspiracy corner, but Skinwalker has a special place in my heart because it's never been a thing that I've thought much about. Same thing with like hybrids or I can't think of the word. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I live in the mountains of Southern California. Beautiful. Fucking you people that hate Southern California, I feel bad for you because like you don't even know. It's wonderful up here. Anyway, I live in the mountains of Southern California and there's trails everywhere. And there's a particular trail in kind of like, as far as mountains go, a shoddy area, but I like it. It's an easy trail and I take my dogs, I let them off leash. It's not a very, not that you don't run into very many people there, but multiple times on this trail, I'd run into this dude and he was never verbal and very strange, like really strange. And I'm like, dude, that guy is sus as fuck. But I'd run into him multiple times and sometimes I'd run into him on the trail and he's walking out from the wilderness on the trail in pajama pants and bare feet. And there's snow on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy like living in the forest? And it was very strange. And I've run into him with my husband and with my daughter, proven this guy exists, right? And then one time I go out with my big, husky, lovely, wonderful dog on the trail. And we're walking in and we pass him. And he's never verbal, but I always say hello because that's what I do. I'm a human. And he's like, bleh, and like snot coming out his nose and shit in his pajama pants and bare feet. And I'm like, weird. But we're going to keep walking because I have my husky dog and she'll protect me at all costs. Anyway, so that happens. And we go to the end of the trail and we walk back out and he passes us again. And I'm like, nod at him. And he's like, fucking retard. And I'm like, okay, weirdo. And then we come across a piece of human poop, like within like 100 yards from there. I'm like, dude took a shit in the forest, like right on the path. That sucks. My dog then proceeds to eat it. And I'm like, oh, gross. Let's keep going. No, okay. Anyway, that's gross. Let's keep going. And we keep going. And then also at this one trailhead, there are these rocks that like mark the trailhead. We pass that trailhead and keep walking. And then something called me to look back, right? And mind you, like not that long ago, maybe 2 minutes ago, we pass the dude, we pass his poop, we get out of the rocks. I turn around and there's a fucking coyote standing right at the rocks, right behind the rocks to the trailhead. And it's a coyote looking at me like this. And I'm like, the first thought I had was like, Skinwalker. I swear to God, that person was a shapeshifter. Like, I'm convinced, only because of the thought that immediately entered my head after seeing this guy multiple times over years doing weird shit in this forest over and over and over. My dog eats his poop, all that shit happens, and then like coyotes like standing there like, and I'm like, Skinwalker. Anyway,
I mean,
I'm a crazy person.
So okay, so we're talking about like that version of Skinwalker. So that is a southwestern thing, right?
I think it is actually where like the people actually transform.
Yeah, like the Navajo and all that stuff. So
you know, I'm only saying because I know that's crazy time thinking, but the fact that the first thing I thought when the coyote was standing there was Skinwalker, I'm like, sorry, I think it exists. I think it's probably a thing.
Now, do you think that like that's just like a supernatural thing, or do you buy into that the government is like they're actually government agents?
I actually don't have an opinion on it. I don't. I think I personally think there's so many mysteries in our reality. Like, who am I as a mere human to even guess?
Right.
Like, and also that's me invoking my own feminine privilege. Like, I don't know, you dudes figure it out.
Well, because there's so many, right? Like that, like they're government agents that they're just being used to intimidate people around the Navajo reservation and stuff like that. And like I was saying earlier, like the like extraterrestrials, you could say like lizard people or whatever. But what you call it? I'd like to believe that just as a natural course of history, there have always been skinwalkers.
You think so?
Yeah. I'd like to believe it. I've never seen one.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you had anybody tell you any personal stories of that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had
You
somebody,
have?
like say like, oh, I think I saw, what they thought was like a werewolf or some kind of animal that was then like all of a sudden, like there was a guy and the next thing you know, there was an animal there, like where'd the guy go,
Right.
So that kind of stuff. nothing like too in depth or anything. Just like, yeah, like I never experienced that. Like I got chased through the woods by what I thought was either a wild dog or a wolf. And it seemed super intelligent for a wild dog or a wolf. And there's not really many wolves in Jersey, so yeah, probably more like a wild dog. But
Okay, I'm sorry. Please back up about 2 to 3 steps and tell the story.
what of the wild dog?
Yeah, the wild dog. Like, what the fuck happened?
Just young teenager, 13, 14 years old, hanging out in the woods. And then I go to leave. It's getting dark. Next thing I know, there's like a growling and like I start biking through the woods quicker down this path. And this big dog, at the time I thought it was a wolf. But like I said, there's not many wolves in this part of Jersey. So, if in Jersey at all. And so, and like, I sped up and I did like a rope-a-dope, like to come back around and go back the other way. And somehow this dog not only rope-a-doped me, but like did a double rope-a-dope by like going the opposite way and coming out like, now I'm in the opposite direction and this dog comes out in front of me, but from the other side of the woods. So it was very intelligent. Like it was super intelligent, And then
I want to
my
know
God.
what aptitude test you administered to it to find out its intelligence.
Well, because like, if anything, this dog should have either kept going straight, or if it heard me or saw me or even smelled me, should have like turned left like I did, and should have been still behind me, if anything. But this dog went right, came back the other way. Now, away from where I was. So, like, no visual contact, no audible contact, and then came out in front of me. Like, I don't even know how it got past me. I was hoofing it on that bike. You know what I mean? Like, I was. So, and then when I got to the edge of the wood line and coming out of the woods and then into the clearing, it was just gone. Like, it was barking behind me. I leave the wood line, and then the barking stopped, and like an idiot, I stopped and I turned around and there was nothing.
Okay, that's pretty freaky. And I'm going to take this opportunity to ask Batman, because Batman, I rarely actually bring you into Conspiracy Corner. And I know you're an animal guy and you have your pet hotel and everything. Do you have any kind of similar experience? And you are muted.
So you're asking me if I've ever had a skinwalking issue or dog?
I mean, well, we kind of went like the dog path, right? Between me and Anthony. I mean, do you have any kind of similar experience? And you are on the East Coast and I'm on the West.
Well, we do have, like in Jersey, we do have a series of coyotes that could be somehow crossbred with larger canine lupus style dogs. So it is possible that it was a wolf coyote hybrid in your area. As one of the chatters pointed out earlier, somebody named Ryan, Kevin Ryan. So, but as far as that goes, the only real, crazy dog story I have was the one of my uncle's dog when he tried to rip off my arm at the age of 3 and gnawed on me and decided to peel my arm back like a banana. I was 3 years old, but she wasn't letting go of me. And
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at your like mauling experience.
yeah, it's I was a little kid, and so it was crazy experience. But that's the only real like crazy dog. I've got dog stories here, left and right and sideways, but nothing crazy, nothing like obscure, bizarre. So the dog bite was the most bizarre thing I've encountered.
I have a more benevolent story that comes to like a weird dog that could be skinwalker-ish.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I was about 11, and at that age we're like just hitting junior high, and like the hierarchy of like kiddom is happening, right? Who's like bullying who and stuff, right? So there was these older kids, and they were like older. They might even have been in high school, but they were just fucking with me as I was walking home one day, and I'm walking. Like, I wouldn't even say it was like a wooded path. It was like concrete. It was like a concrete path that just kind of cut through this like little wooded area between the one elementary school and the church. And then when you got to the church, then it just opened up into a big soccer field, and then it was like a neighborhood behind the soccer field. Right? So I was just cutting through, like I always did. And as I'm walking through, the kids passed me. They were like teasing me and stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. And as that's happening, there's like this little old lady, right? And she's just like kind of walking the path, but like she's already like ahead. And she turned around and we made eye contact for a split second. And then she just kept going. I mean, she had to be like in her 80s, right? And then I ran into the woods, and then the kids started walking. And then I came back to the path and I kept going. And then the kids were coming back. And at this point, the old lady was gone, and it was quick because it was less than a minute or two, right? So I don't know how this old lady just was gone. But as the kids were coming back for like round 2, this like I want to say like a Rottweiler type dog came out of nowhere and like got between me and the group of kids and like scared them off and then walked with me the rest of the path. And then as soon as we got to the church, I went to go cut across the soccer field to get to the overpass that went over the highway, and the dog just ran off in the opposite direction. And that was the last I ever saw that dog. So I don't know if that was the old lady or not, you know, coming back to help me out or whatever, but yeah. You're muted, Christy.
You're muted, Christy.
Well, at the time, was that a feeling that you had? Like,
Yes.
like that to me is like the quintessential, if that's the word, like litmus test of like, is it real or not? Is that the thing that like just comes to you? Like, this is what just happened.
It did after we like I went my own way. Like I said, so like it chased the kids away. Like it wouldn't let them near me. It kept pacing back and forth as the kids were trying to get around it, and like it would snap at the kids, and then they all ran away. And then it just kind of came over, looked at me again, making eye contact with me, just like I had made eye contact with the old lady, and then just continued to just literally walk right next to me. And I was scared because I'm like, this is a fucking big ass dog. I'm 11 years old,
Yeah.
right? And this dog just walked right next to me, didn't get aggressive, and we get to the end of the path again, make eye contact, and then it just like took off. It just ran off in the other opposite direction, and I just continued on my way home.
That
You
old
know,
lady had your back.
I feel like the story would have also come out if the wheel landed on angels. You know. Anyway, it is time for us to leave Conspiracy Corner because we're coming up on the big 2-hour mark, and we have got to get into branding, Anthony, because basically with the brand comes your eternal invitation back to any Flip City party. And I'm sorry, we host the best parties on the internet. Okay. So after this, you will be invited back to every Flip City party. And this is the Flip City branded segment, which after almost exactly 1 year, I still don't have a fucking stinger for. But we are going to bring up what you're going to have to live read. You're going to have to read live. Can you read, sir?
I did graduate high school, so they say I can.
All right. So I picked a thing for you tonight because I know like the stuff you put out personally is a little bit creepy and scary and all that kind of stuff. So I want to expose you to the things that Flip City does that is creepy and a little weird. But it also kind of ties into this thing that you've been talking about being involved in the scene, quote marks. And I just kind of like think of that as Comicsgate, right?
Yeah, I mean that's basically the scene that
we're just going to be real about it.
Yeah,
it's Comicsgate, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna kind of read you in, and then you get a choice. Blah blah blah. All right. So many well-known evil racist gangs of killer cults erode the fabric of our nation and seek to oppress, divide, and erase us. But the biggest monsters hide in the shadows, waiting to strike. You know about the Klan, the neo-Nazis, but I bet you have never heard of these horrifying hate groups. Comicsgate. All right, so Comicsgate is not on this, but you get to choose between these 4 horrifying hate groups, and you're going to read about them. So just choose one.
Okay.
We'll bring it up, and then you read about it. Because that's the other thing. Like, if you take your time, because I'm going to let everybody out there know, like, this is the point of Flip City Magazine, is to expose you to things that you might have not otherwise known. There's all these horrifying hate groups out there. And Anthony's only going to read about one tonight.
All right. Well, the one that's sticking out to me is Meet Eternum.
Meet Eternum. We're going to read about that tonight and tune into future Creative Chaoses for perhaps another horrifying hate group. All right.
All right. Do I read this or do you read this?
Why the fuck would I read it, Anthony? Why are you here?
Okay. Meet Eternum. Meet forever is the rallying cry of the Neanderthals known collectively as Meet Eternum. Truly a degenerate pack of troglodytes. Hideously entitled creatures, members of Members of MA claim it. Okay, never mind. Hideously entitled creatures, members of Meet Eternum, claim it as their natural right under God to consume the flesh of animals of all sorts, including cute little bunny rabbits, endangered polar bears, and Bambis, all while hiding their brutality behind the cheap justification of self-sufficiency, and all while meat is, regrettably, still easily available at any supermarket or restaurant. Meet Eternum members admittedly indulge in sick practices like rendering fats from dead animals to use as lantern oil, or even as cooking grease. These reprobates are also known to have used animal skins for clothing and rugs. Silence of the Lambs, anyone? Investigations reveal deep financial connections between Meet Eternum and the similarly motivated Anti-Veganation League, the hate group known for slandering vegans and ridiculing their nutritional theories.
Indeed.
Anti-Veganation members even regard the humble vegan as a danger to society for challenging and undermining their beliefs in the necessity of animal products. Vegans may admittedly have added fuel by suggesting that perhaps meat should be so expensive that only the wealthy can afford it. In reality, world hunger is easily solved by increase in soy production, but the Meet Eternum may well need to feel the pinch of more inflation before they realize that. Fuck these guys. What the hell are they talking about? Not Meet Eternum, I'm with them. But whoever wrote this, fuck them.
I just like how the cartoon guy in the front of it, bottom corner, was with a handlebar mustache and a big meat cleaver in one hand and a knife in the other. That's me. I am a meat eater. I am a meat Eternum.
Hell yes. Jesus.
Meat and potatoes. That's all I want.
Well,
I can do without the potatoes, just the meat.
You guys, that is just one of the horrifying hate groups, and published way back in, I think, 2022. Anyway, we here at Flip City like to keep you guys informed. And on that note, I would really love to invite our producer, Cosmic Grandpa, on to explain what he put out there during Conspiracy Corner. Cos, are you going to come out from behind the curtain or not?
Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain.
This is what he said.
Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
There you
All
are.
right, there he is.
All right. I have to ask. I feel like you were being sarcastic, sir.
About what did I put out there? I've forgotten
Well,
already.
it's on the screen. I got chased by a pack of wild snipes once.
I was being a bit sarcastic there, yes. Well, you guys were talking about being chased by dogs and skinwalkers and the like. I had to throw snipes in there just.
All right. Because I had to call you out on that. I'm like, what is a snipe? What is a snipe, by the way? Anybody know?
I have no clue.
It was
I would like to know.
A trick they played on the younger Boy Scouts when I was a younger Boy Scout. There was a ritual where the older Boy Scouts would take the younger Boy Scouts out snipe hunting for these elusive snipes, which were supposedly these creatures that only came out at night, and you had to be a really clever hunter, because if you tried to sneak up on one, it would disappear, and all kinds of, it was all a gag. There is no such thing as a snipe.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I have no idea how many CIA agents came out of the Boy Scouts, but I'm sure plenty. Oh, hey, did you, by the way, did you make it all the way up to Eagle Scout?
No, I quit about three ranks below that, because in addition to being in a Boy Scouts, I was in the band, and I was in the band for the same damn reason, which wasn't to play an instrument. It was to get high under the bleachers before the football game. So.
Yeah, the funny part is I still have the same saxophone I've had since I was 9 years old.
Oh, can you still play it?
Yeah.
Dude, can you play us a toot tonight? That's never happened in the history of Creative Chaos. If I'm not going to pressure you, but if you feel like you can, I'd freaking love that. That would be so awesome.
Give me a sec.
Okay. We're going to give him a second to wet his reed. Anybody that has ever played a reeded instrument knows what I mean. He's going to suck that shit. What?
My daughter played saxophone, but I was a trombonist.
Well, you'd brought your daughter up earlier tonight when we were talking about that band, which I can't even remember the name right
Type
now.
O negative.
Type O negative for the
Oh,
goth
she introduced
girls.
me to all the good music. Type O, 9 Inch Nails, some of the best music from the 90s I listened to. My daughter introduced me to.
Well, Cause, I got to say something. I think it's a credit to you. Today I was listening to Spotify, doing my stuff in my house, and on the playlist that I chose was Devo. And I don't think, like, for the rest of my life, I will always think of you when Devo comes up. Like, because you've said that is your favorite band in the world, and I much respect that. And I love Devo as well. Not my favorite band. My favorite band is Talking Heads. Like, prove me wrong. Like, why isn't Talking Heads your favorite band?
I know for several years when I first started work, the morning greeting when we would meet each other in the office was same as it ever was. Same as it. That was our morning greeting every morning. Just same as it ever was. So yeah, we were Talking Heads fans too.
Yeah, I mean, why such a big suit? Anybody out there that does not know who Talking Heads or Devo is, for that matter, like, go check both of them out. It's basically like the way I think of both of those bands is it's kind of a cusp between punk and new wave. Like, it can go either way.
Well, it was known as alternate rock at that time, alt rock. You know, we had stations here on Long Island, WLIR, Long Island Rocks, and it was alternate rock music. And so it was the Talking Heads, it was Devo, Flock of Seagulls as it went on, and, the Buggles, all that type of music. But I digress. I think Anthony has sucked his reed wet enough, and we're going to now listen to him play.
So. This reed is so old. I mean, it looks brand new, but it's so old. Not
do you
one
think
chip
you'll pull
in
it off, though?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited for this. You do not even know. We're gonna hear some sax music.
Wait, hold on. gonna
And
stop
on
now.
and on that note, what does Auld Lang Syne mean? I got 3 dudes here. Cause I'm betting on you to know what that means.
No,
Auld Lang Syne.
I was busy looking for a sticker of Bill Clinton playing saxophone. Sorry. To drop over in the pilled.
Okay, so Mr. Self-Destruct says odd Lang Syne. I thought it was Auld Lang Syne, but I don't know.
It is AULD. I know that because I remember, and I want to say has something to do with for old time's sake, something along those lines. But I don't remember the exact translation.
Old long sense.
Long sense. Yeah.
Old
Long
long
sense?
sense. Yeah.
Old long sense.
Did you
right.
Google for us?
Times from the past. Old Lang Syne. Old AULD. Old Lang Syne. Old as it ever was, basically.
Yeah. It could also mean like long ago or stuff like that. But yeah, I think if I'm remembering correctly, exact translation is old long sense, which in Scottish Gaelic is like backwards. But yeah, yeah.
Well, let me propose this to the panel here. Like, don't you think like maybe it kind of, to me, it seems like that is what they want to take from us, is that Auld Lang Syne or whatever, however you pronounce it. It's like, do not pay attention to what the generations or multiple generations before had to teach you. That really seems like a huge part of the psyop to me, is like, fuck those old people, like when you talk to like a super uneducated person about like the creation of our country and how fucking awesome the United States of America is, they're like, that was just a bunch of old guys in wigs. It's like, bish, those people were younger than you are now. They just wore powdered wigs, right?
As someone who grew up in the 60s, yeah, I'm all about those old the old people don't know anything.
Well, I mean, do you feel like, because you said you were the old person that grew up in the 60s, do you feel like that was a thing kind of like forced on the youth of your time, of like, don't pay attention to them, they
Absolutely.
have nothing of value?
I mean, between Vietnam, Woodstock, I mean, everything that was, going on, Nixon, we had absolutely, we were trained to have absolutely no faith in authority,
Anyone or anything.
The establishment at all. Yeah, I mean, we were raised on that. Our music was all about not trusting the establishment. Our whole world was about not trusting the establishment.
But like, from your viewpoint, like, especially now, many, at least a few decades in the future, right? I mean, have you reconsidered those thoughts and been like, oh, fuck, I was like thought controlled back then, because it's almost like they figured people might be starting to wake up to the fact, right? But they had to then control the narrative.
So they psyoped us into not believing or listening to our elders?
I guess.
Okay. That's deep and definitely belongs on a conspiracy wheel. But
how should
yeah,
we put it? Not listening to your elders.
No, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it can go even deeper, because like even in like America's old culture, pre the world wars, right? even pre-World War One, families tended to stay together, right? But then, like somewhere along in the early 20th century, a young one moving out on their own, away from the family, became a thing. You know, you could say that was the initial step to the psyop, right? And then like cultivating the fight against authority, you know, which again would be like not listening to your elders, you know. I don't know. I'm just a little buzzed up and kind of going along with Christy's thought process there.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But also probably because, you know, my own personal life, you know, I've got a young adult living here and I'm like, yeah, it does kind of suck. Like, I kind of understand, not even kind of, I feel like I genuinely understand Gen Z's problem. They've been so fucking demoralized. And can you really, as a young person trying to make it in the world right now, have an apartment like I did in the 90s?
No.
Is that even fucking possible?
But the question is, should you? Because then going back to cultures
and that's
around
the thing
the world.
Too. Yes, I'm like, guess what? I fucking love you. Like, if we want to make a little compound of family, that actually sounds fucking rad. We're gonna have chickens. We're gonna have a goat.
Well,
it's
not even
awesome.
you don't even have to call it a compound, right? I mean, just think back to like when like farming was like the way of the land, right? Like people had acres and acres of farmland. There was the main farmhouse where like grandma and grandpa lived and most of the family lived, and maybe there was a secondary house for, you know what I mean? Like
fucking Walton's over here.
Right, like,
Walton's came to my mind too.
Yeah.
So wait, you mean like the Amish?
To play there in the background.
No,
you mean like the Amish do, right?
No, like the Waltons. Well, I mean, I guess kind of, but yeah, the Amish have all their things mixed in there. But it's like kind of like it's a strange blend of like the hippie, like commune, but also it's just your family.
Well, communes or communism only works on the micro level. It won't work on the macro level. Like you can have like a family living on like a farm by themselves, and it'll work great, right? You try to put that into like a fucking overall arcing government, and it's not going to work.
No. Actually, I'm going to take it to the mid-step gray area there. It's going to work. Also in the community.
Yeah, you can
the immediate community, not national government and anybody like.
Think about it. Yeah, I mean, look, you grew up in Brooklyn, you said, or the Bronx, the first 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brooklyn.
So, Brooklyn. So, didn't your community pretty much, raise you? Like Miss Smith used to hang out her window with her wooden spoon. Make sure you drink it.
Oh yeah, no, totally, yeah.
So that's a commune aspect of a community, community.
But you couldn't do
that's
that.
The point.
Like even here in Jersey, right? Like I remember like when we first moved out to Jersey and like, being like 10, 11, 12 or whatever and going to the mall with my mother, right? And like there's some kid running around like a lunatic, or even me when I was even younger. Like I remember running around Caesar's Bay Bazaar in Brooklyn and like just running around like a lunatic. My mother's got my sister who's like 1 or 2 in her arms, like can't catch me because she's got the baby in her arms. And like if I'm running by, like all of a sudden there comes like Mrs. Gonzalez who's selling her little wares at Caesar's Bay flea market. Just sticks her foot out, just trips me up and goes, "Got him, got him for you." Right? Or my mother grabbing, like I said, like somebody at the mall, like running through Macy's, and like some little kid running away from their mother. My mom grabs the kid by the arm and goes, "Got him! Here he is. There you go."
Yes.
If you did that now, the cops would be called. The other mother would be like, "Don't you ever lay your hand on my kid?" Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
And it's like, all right, well, you want that kid? Okay, talk to me in 10 years when that kid's running around like a lunatic, like gangbanging and fucking dealing drugs, and you know what I mean? Talk to me then.
And on that note, does anybody have any, like on this panel, because none of us are from this generation. Does anybody have sympathy for the millennials?
No,
No.
no.
Cause
Not here.
They're
but
delusional.
isn't your daughter a millennial?
She is right on the cusp. She considers herself not millennial. My son, on the other hand, he is firmly a millennial, and
you have no sympathy for him.
and that's why I can say safely, no, not really.
That's
They
interesting.
tend to be rather
delusional.
entitled.
Entitled little shit like my son,
They-
who was a millennial.
Yeah, that's a good way
And
to
you know
put
what?
it, yeah.
It's funny. Like I remember ragging on, like saying that same thing. Like these millennials are entitled. They're this. They expect this. They want everything. Blah 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 blah. And all my friends laughing at my jokes and liking all my stuff on Facebook and stuff. I'm like, these are your kids. You know what I mean? Like, and no offense, Cosmic Grandpa. I don't know your son. You know your relationship with him, but I know my friend. Like they enforce that. Like, you know, like my friend Kim, I tease her all the time. I'm like, the reason why your son is the way he is because you did, you know, you were one of the ones that were like, yeah, participation trophies and this and that. Like, I'm not saying you were, so please, I'm talking about like my own personal relationships with my friends and their kids. But like being on the internet and like seeing that the majority of them are like this, and it's not always the parents' fault. Like, but it's just like society in general. Like, I want to say like. There's two things I'll blame Gen X for. One is the live and let live mentality, because, yeah, it's good to have that mentality, but, you know, also make sure people don't take advantage of that, because otherwise you wind up where we are socially now. And two, yeah, we got bullied by our own parents, so I understand the whole, like, concept of, like, maybe it's taking it back a notch, but then there's taking it back a notch, and there's totally like taking the reins clear off. You know what I mean? And like stepping away almost. That like I saw a poll once. They polled boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Z. Right? They said, how much money do you think you need to make a year just to live just a little bit above comfortable? Like, you know, like you paid all your bills and you got a little extra money on the side. How much do you think you need to make a year? Most of the generations were saying about the same thing: 100,000, 150,000 a year in today's economy. You know, this, that, and the other thing. You know what millennials said? What they were polled at? 500,000.
Okay, now as a group, because I wanted to have sympathy, but
No, I have
that
none.
no. Yeah.
My ex-roommate, my last roommate, young kid, like, you know, like I think I'm the same age as his parents, to be honest with you. But yeah, totally entitled, right? Like we live I'm on the Jersey Shore. We thankfully us in my house is like a corner lot, and I have a little bit of land, but most of these are like the beach bungalows that are just like lined up right alongside each other, with barely enough parking space in front of each house for one car. I have a driveway, and then from the driveway to the corner is all in front of my property, right? So like I can have like 4 cars parked out in front plus 1 in the driveway, right? So every now and then one of the neighbors might have to park in front of the house, right? So instead of parking directly in front of the house, if you have to park in front of that car and walk an extra 5 feet to the, you know, to the pathway that leads up to the front door, and then you're going to fucking come in, slam the door, and start complaining and bitching and going, I'm going to go talk to them tomorrow. Shut the fuck up. like, shut your fucking mouth. Are you seriously good? And then he gets mad at me for, like, not taking his side on this. I'm like, bro. I'm like, we have all this parking in front of the house. I was like, you're going to go talk to, at the time, 60, she's in her 70s now, but, like, you're going to go talk to 68-year-old Elena about her granddaughter parking in front of that, because the next closest spot to her house is right in front of our house, right? So she gets out of the car, she's got to walk 20 feet, 30 feet to get to her grandmother's house. You have to walk 10 instead of 5 to get to the front door. Like, are you kidding me right now? The granddaughter's stopping by to see her grandmother, and you can't, like, for one night, like, just deal with it? Like, you're going to go talk to her? And he got mad at me, and he just storms in with this office used to be his room. He comes in, and he storms in, and my computer. I was on a stream, and my computer was in the living room at the time, and I'm there, and I go, somebody need their diapers changed. He did not like that.
That is the time to be sassy, though.
It was insane, man. Like I couldn't believe, like, the entitlement. Like, very cool kid otherwise, but like that's why when he was like, I'm gonna move out, eventually he was gonna move down to Florida or whatever, I was like, yeah, go ahead, go, man. It's all good. I don't need the help with the money no more, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, because you don't need money anymore because you are a Mr. Publisher, and we're going to close it out for tonight because it actually has been great to have you on screen for so many hours. I'd like to start with you tonight, actually. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me the same place that you can find Bruce on Sunday nights. That is over on Three Beer Men. We are all over the place. YouTube, on the Madness Comic Network, Pilled, D-Live, Odyssey, Rumble, Twitch,
Don't forget
all those
X.
places.
Twitter.
And X. And you can find all the links at 3beermen.tv or 3beermen on X at 3beermen.
Hey, Bruce, do you have anything to add to that? You're usually the promo for you and Colin.
Nope, he covered it all. Just remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and make sure you click that red pill and show us some love.
Oh, and this week we've got some special guests on the show. I guess I may as well plug that while I'm out. We are doing a show called We Are the Meme Media now, and we are having some guest memers on to talk about how memes influence the year 2020. Because 2020, in our opinion, is the year that memes came into the mainstream.
That's really interesting. And I think probably in the 2018s, I saw the term meme, and I did go embarrassingly. This is my night of exposure, by the way. I went to my daughter and said, "What's a meme?"
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you go back to 2016, right? 2015, 2016, it was like the birth of it. 2020, like you said, I think is where it like solidified. But I think 2024 was literally like, it was like the X Games becoming mainstream on like ESPN. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
absolutely.
But you
that's what we'll be talking about. So join us this Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Like I said, links at 3beermen.tv.
I love the Three Beer Men. You guys are so fun all the time. And then on that note, Anthony, I'm gonna listen. I do love giving my guests shit on their websites, right? That is the main way, in my opinion, at least, the main way of telling everybody where to find you. Yours is lacking. It sucks. Like, I love you, Anthony, but you don't have any social media on there. I don't know why you don't have your music, all that kind of stuff. And, you can defend yourself if you want, or you can improve your website. I love you. You're awesome. And where can people find you besides Gift Comics? Because don't go there.
No, go there because that's where all the links to all the books are. Listen, I needed a website. I built mine through MailChimp. Right, not the most robust platform to do it, but it served its purpose. It even had a store feature at one point, but they took that away. So that kind of sped up my process to now find another provider or build my own. I'm still kind of working that out. So in the meantime, there are certain links at the very bottom of the website that'll take you to my Twitter, my YouTube, and stuff like that. But
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't see that.
yeah, just to just search Dark Gift Comics on all the, whether it be Rumble, YouTube, X, Minds, MeWe, Facebook. I have a page there. Yeah, all of them. I can probably open my phone and I think I'm still on Parlor, for Christ's sakes.
I think I still have a Parlor account.
Parlor anymore?
But yeah, darkgiftcomics.com will take you to where you like the main places you need to go, which is basically Twitter, YouTube, and of course the website. Rumble. I'm starting to build that up. We got up to I think 150. Like they call it followers, but subscribers or whatever. So I'm cool. Like I dig that. And I stream any of my shows. I stream to all those places: Facebook, my Facebook page, Rumble, YouTube, X, and even Twitch. I think I have a Twitch that I stream to, but I don't really. I only get interaction when I do draw streams on there. Yeah.
The real question is, do you still have a MySpace account?
Technically, we all still have a MySpace account.
Technically, yes.
I actually went and looked it up, and like half the stuff is like gone. Like the servers, they didn't carry a lot of stuff over. But yeah, it's still there. I still got my personal MySpace and my and my band's MySpace. But MySpace is shit now. I don't even bother with it.
Well,
I don't think anybody does anymore.
Speaking of your band, like seriously, I would say, put that out there. Let people find your old self and all that.
Did you see my very first attempt at a music video?
No, I did not. Because where do I find it?
So if you go to my YouTube channel,
Shot Too Many Music. He put it in the chat. I found it.
That if you want to go check out my old band. But no, on darkgiftcomics.com, if you go to playlists, you can go to Jammin', and that'll have all like videos of me just sitting here playing like a song or whatever. But last year, actually, was it last year or the year before? I put out an actual music video for my cover of "Come Undone" by Duran Duran.
Nice.
Yeah, my friend, she sat in. She was like the actress. We went on location and filmed on the beach and in town and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest music video, but for my first attempt with a cell phone and an action cam, I thought I did pretty well. So, yeah.
All right, and you find that by going to darkgiftcomics.com, and then there's a what?
No, if you go to Dark Gift Comics Presents on YouTube and go to the
on YouTube. And that is the thing. It seems to me, at least at this very point in time, that is the very best place to see what you're up to, right? Is the YouTube.
Correct. That, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, YouTube and Twitter. Yeah.
All right.
The two biggest places. Yeah.
That was what I was trying to come down to. Anyway, Batman's obviously getting very sleepy. You guys.
That's my bedtime.
Very much so, sir. Check out flipcitymag.com. We've got all kinds of shit there because unlike Dark Gift, we have a banging website. You can find everything there at flipcitymag.com. Yeah! Did you middle finger me?
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know.
and besides that, of course, every Thursday night we have Creative Chaos. I'm apparently going to be a regular panelist over on Dark Gift's channel on the YouTubes, where I'll probably be much more quiet because this Creative Chaos is where I get to be a dick. And then I'm not going to shit on your carpet, Anthony, except for maybe a little bit.
Be a dick.
But I'm a girl too.
That's what the Madhouse is about.
I am the token girl, and so I'm going to feel out my space over there, and we're going to have a good time. And I'm super excited to get to know you. Just to let you know, I really truly am super excited to get to know you more and the friends you've built up within the indie comic space that I might know, I might not know, all that kind of stuff. But I've had fun hanging out with you on
you're awesome.
slums, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, it was called the Slumlords. Now it's the Madhouse, the Slumlords podcast. No, definitely let loose. That's what the show's about. 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights. Christy is a new regular member. She might not be there every week. It's up to her. I don't force people to be there.
Oh, I actually really appreciate that.
It's not like, if you don't show up this week, you can't be on anymore. No, that's why I have like a nice select, like a robust group that have the link every week, because sometimes it's just 3 of us, sometimes it's like 10 of us, you know what I mean? It just depends on who shows up. And the fact that, like I said, like I'm expanding it out of the indie comic scene into the indie magazine and indie book, and like I said, as a musician, I'd love to get another musician on there, because sometimes I nerd out about music and the rest of the guys are looking at me like, I have no clue what you're talking about when you're talking about like mixing boards and amplifiers and shit, you know. But somebody else might know that kind of stuff. We can nerd out about it. We can even talk about like the culture war in the music scene, because there is a big culture war in the music scene. It just goes underlooked because the record labels have so much influence.
P. Diddy, anybody?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the benchmark of the industry music scene and what had to be done to make a name. Anyway, on that note, P. Diddy, everyone, thank you so much for
I don't know, should I salute that?
Yeah.
The fact that he might be going to jail, he might get Epstein, absolutely.
Anthony, cheers.
Okay, I'll salute that.
P. Diddy, and this is normally when we say goodnight. Happy New Year, everybody. This was a fantastic show. Thank you, of course, Cause and Bruce, and my unofficial but official wrench holders over on the YouTube for smacking any trolls, but we haven't attracted that many. Let's make that a goal for 2025. Let's bring in the trolls so our mods have something to do. All right. So good night for tonight. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Later. Thank you.
Okay, class. List everything insensitive, exclusionary, bigoted, nationalistic, misogynistic, and offensive that you can find in history's great myths and legends. Extra points for suffering panic attacks or emotional outbursts. Fact check every opinion against the lived experience of your comrades and allies, so you can avoid forming a criminal opinion. Scrutinize it cover to cover. Wrongthink, misgendering, dead naming, misinformation, microaggressions. Leave no page unturned.